So let's talk about MVP. That's always an interesting conversation at the end of the season. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's not always. But the Vegas favorite to win the MVP is again Giannis, home row from the Milwaukee Bucks. But let me ask you: is he your prediction to win MVP?
I don't think he wins MVP just because it's very hard to win 3 times in a row. Usually they just don't do it because, I mean, I feel like they didn't do it with LeBron. They didn't do it with KD. So they didn't do it with Curry. So I'd be surprised if they do it with Giannis. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's going to be someone else. I kind of like Jimmy Butler.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the way he's played in the bubble, really, I like the Heat team. I've always I feel like they're a team that can come up in here and they play very complimentary ball, which I like. They're well coached, which I like. And he's a guy that second year in the system, I feel like he's going to obviously get more experience with his teammates. I mean, guys like Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Gordon Dragic. And I feel like he could take the next step. And I feel like the NBA it doesn't go to the best player in the league. LeBron's not going to win every year. But I feel like it's always the player that makes like that big jump to superstar and he's dominant and he's playing good. And I feel like Jimmy Butler can do that.
That's a great pick, actually. And shout out to our producer, Alex Wolves, who is our resident Heat fan. But I think someone we got to mention here, and someone who I think is about to jump into the stardom conversation, even saying he wasn't already there, which you could argue he was, is Luka Doncic from Dallas. I mean, you look at his stuff from last year: 28.8 points per game, 9.4 rebounds, 8.8 assists. He turns 22 in February.
Yeah.
I think this is a year that the Mavs are gonna jump up in quality, and Luka's going to be the most important aspect of that. And I think the league is going to note that, and they're going to see his talent. I think it's going to be of national notoriety this coming year in the National Basketball Association. So he's my pick for MVP. But I want to get in a few more before we go to break. So give me your 2 coaches of the year, the East and the West. Tell me.
Oh, I agree with you with Dallas. I'm going to go Rick Carlisle. I think he's going to win it because I think they are going to be good. I mean, the Eastern Conference is always difficult because I really like there's probably going to be a team that jumps up and does really good. I kind of like the Celtics team, so I'm going to go Brad Stevens. And maybe that's just like I'm just kind of picking one of the best coaches, but I do like them. And I think they're going to have a really good year together. So I would say those 2 guys.
No one will fault you for picking Brad Stevens. That's a very safe pick, but a good pick. I'm going to take the maybe not as safe picks. I'm going to take 2 first-year coaches as my 2 coaches of the year. In the Eastern Conference, I'm going to take Steve Nash. I think this is going to work for Brooklyn. I mean, if my prediction comes true that they're second in the East, he should absolutely be coach of the year. I think he fits the dynamic of this Nets team right now perfectly. So I think it's going to click for them, and that is going to get the Nets a good spot in the Eastern Conference, and it's going to get him coach of the year. Similar thing of things clicking in the Western Conference. I'm taking Tyronn Lue as coach of the year because I think I look at this Clippers team from last year. A lot of talent, no doubt there. It just felt like one piece was missing, and I got a gut feeling that Tyronn Lue was that piece. So and maybe I'm completely wrong. I probably am, but it's they're 2 odd picks. You have some?
He's a guy, I feel like Ty Lue, he's a coach, with those stars. LeBron, Kyrie. He's a guy that I think that can work. I mean, maybe it won't because, I mean, those guys, I feel like there's kind of a locker room rift because like Kawhi was getting and Paul George was getting kind of special treatment and players didn't like that. But I feel like with Lue, he knows how to manage stars and he's going to do it well. And I think that's really going to help them.
Absolutely. All right. We have another minute here. I want to get your pick real quick and we'll get Ligon's pick later in the show. And maybe our producer, Alex Wolves, will make his pick also. But your finals prediction, the 2 teams, who wins, how many games?
Lakers are going to win, I think. Then I think they're kind of the easy one. I mean, again, I feel like that's kind of the safe pick, but I do not bet against LeBron James with Anthony Davis right now. I think they're kind of above the pack. I mean, Western Conference is very good, but that's just what I'm feeling there. And then moving over to the East, it's very close. I was kind of between the Bucks and the Celtics, because Brad Stevens picked him, and I was like, I really like how that team's growing, and I think they're going to take the next step. And then I just feel like Giannis is eventually going to break down that door. And I'm just between those 2 teams, so I don't know. If I had to pick one, I'll go with Giannis just because he's the big superstar, and in NBA, you're going to pick the big superstar. But I'll take the Lakers to win probably like 6 or something, 7. but I feel like this may be the year that Giannis just breaks through.
Yeah, I love Giannis. I'm also going to take, I guess, what you might call the safe pick in the Eastern Conference and take the Bucks. We're all rooting for Giannis because hopefully he'll win MVP and then someone will pronounce his name and then we all know how it's pronounced, which is the ideal thing. I think they're actually going to take the Western Conference champion to 7 games, but they're going to eventually lose to it. Are you ready for it? I'm taking the Clippers to win it all. Ready? I know. Ready? Come at me in the comments. Just attack me. Fight me. I'm ready for it. I'm at DP Balsams on Twitter. Come at me. Fight me. I am so ready for it.
You got to be ready for the backlash. Like if it goes wrong, you don't want to get the cold takes, the freezing cold takes on you.
I'm too big of a Billy Crystal fan to not pick the Clippers. So that concludes this NBA prediction segment. I think we made some good predictions. And you know what? I'm actually going to sign this right now so that when it all comes true, I can sell it for a lot of money.